This is the Nightshade Cult, a podcast macabre.
We bid you welcome, enter freely and of your own will.
I'm Nick Grimm.
And I'm David Graves.
We will be your horror hosts for this dissection of Roland V. Lee's 1939 expressionist gothic horror, Son of Frankenstein.
Good evening.
Been a long time since I watched this one. It's because it's not James Whale. I still consider it part of like the trilogy because it's still Boris Karloff. Yeah. But it is stylistically a departure from the earlier two films.
Yeah, I had never seen this movie, so when I watched it, I was expecting more like Bride of Frankenstein, and then I saw that it was done by Lee, so something different. And then just from the start, it's very different. It's a very different style of movie.
Yeah, it's aesthetically different, and Roland V. Lee is coming from a background of doing like swashbucklers, like Three Musketeers and The Count of Monte Cristo and Captain Blood, stuff like that, like pirate movies, musketeer movies. Much more of like an action kind of oriented guy than a horror guy.
Yeah, and this movie just has, it feels like it was even written in a very different mindset. Like, there's a lot of dialogue, just a ton of dialogue.
Yes. Well, it's funny you mentioned, and we'll talk more about this in a bit, written. It's a famously tumultuous production, and Lee did not like the script and basically chucked it out for the most part. Dang. And was writing new pages on the day.
Dang.
So yeah, it's the writing is definitely something to remark upon in this movie.
Yeah, the characters are really. It feels like they have a lot of like. They're static still, but they feel like each character has more of an agenda.
There's more pathos in it, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And it's less weird. Like, we don't have, like, in Bride of Frankenstein, there was so much just straight up weirdness. Yeah. It's not so much in here.
Yeah, it's more straightforward, I think, in that way. Some background on this, it has been several years since Universal has made a horror movie at this point.
Oh, okay.
So it's 5 years since Bride of Frankenstein, but it's been 3 years without any horror movies at all from Universal. There was, because of the guidelines of the censors becoming stricter and stricter, they just sort of deemed it not worth it to bother with even trying to do horror movies anymore.
The censors won.
Yeah, except for the Regina Theater on Wilshire Boulevard in California started running a triple bill with the original 31, Dracula and Frankenstein, and Son of Kong as the third feature. Having Bela Lugosi come to these screenings, appear in the Dracula costume and be there for photo ops or whatever, and they packed the house for 5 weeks straight. So basically, they're selling out triple showings of these movies, and Universal is like, we need to get back in the Frankenstein business, and it kind of rushes this into production because of that.
Yeah, I mean, and they spent over $400,000 on this movie, and at the time, that's a fortune.
It was way over budget, way over time. It was supposed to wrap well before Christmas, and it went into the new year, and left them with only like 70 days for post-production. Or not 70 days, 70 hours.
Oh,
they were editing and scoring the movie right up to the release date. Like, this is a Marvel production.
Oh yeah, they're just knocking it out.
Writing the scripts or writing pages on the day, editing up until the release date. This is classic Marvel Studios nonsense. Like, and just going wildly over budget. It's very not good business. It made an interesting movie, I think, but it's not good business.
For sure. This movie is definitely interesting. Yeah. It's a lot different. It has lots of vibes in it. It's a lot more vibey than the first two. Yeah. But it's not it didn't feel like a monster horror. It felt like almost like a thriller.
Yeah. I wrote that down too. Yeah, it does. It's got a thriller aspect. You have You've got the inspector who's trying to kind of solve this mystery of the murders that are going on. You've got Bela Lugosi as Igor.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got his agenda.
Igor definitely is like a whole new level in this movie.
Yeah, and he steals the show, and that's another reason why I wanted to include this one and not just do the first two, because Igor is so significant that the general public overlays him over Fritz and Karl from the first two movies, because Igor has so much personality, and Lugosi just like chews the scenery like crazy. And so when you think about Frankenstein, you're like, well, there's Igor, and he doesn't even come in until the third movie. Yeah,
you think it's weird. I think it's probably from the later movies, like down the road, from the 60s and 70s or whatever.
Well, Young Frankenstein's in the 70s.
Okay, yeah. I think Young Frankenstein is the one, the Frankenstein movie that I saw the most as a kid, because it was running on cable, and that's Igor, who's kind of a Karl-like figure. Fritz-ish, but he's named Igor, and he's
like, my grandfather worked for your grandfather.
He's that's who you think of Igor, but the name Igor is just absolutely associated with being the assistant to the mad scientist, or somehow lurking around. And like you said, Bela Lugosi just crushes it in this movie.
Yeah, he's like fourth billed, I think. But he's also the star of the movie.
Yeah, he's definitely the star of this movie. Like, I bet, Karloff was pissed. He had to be.
I don't think so. So they were tight. The two of them.
Okay, so he was just happy to be with his homie.
The two of them are good friends. This is, I think, they made 8 movies together. And I think this is the 4th one. This is kind of in the middle. And this comes at a very low point in Bela Lugosi's career.
Oh.
He's been out of work for a minute. Those public appearances at the
those are paying the rent?
That's how he's paying the rent, paying for his morphine habit and his alimony to like 4 ex-wives.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's bad business.
Lugosi made some poor choices that I won't pin his opioid addiction on him. That's on the doctor that got him hooked on it. But yeah, Bela was in a bad spot and really needed this role. This kind of brings his career back to life.
People are like, oh, wow, that guy's good.
Yeah, forgot about Bela. Obviously, people hadn't forgotten about him, but Universal was not hiring him for anything.
Okay.
So this restarts his career and gives him a lifeline when he really needed it.
Yeah, and it's a very different role than Dracula. He's sneaky. He's not overly handsome.
Yeah.
He's very verbose, whereas Dracula is reserved and handsome and mysterious.
Yeah.
Igor is none of those.
Yeah. He's blacksmith.
He's just like a master of that pan flute or whatever it is.
They call it a blute.
A blute.
Yeah.
I Googled, what instrument does Igor play in Son of Frankenstein? They go, some sort of flute variant.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what that it's a combination of
it's not actually a pan flute.
A French horn and an alto clarinet or something like that.
Yeah. It's definitely a reed instrument. It's got that kind of buzziness to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, the blute does not actually exist. But
why'd they have to introduce? Why couldn't he just be like the Kenny G of his time?
Yeah, and I don't know. There's something. It is. We're talking about the story now. It's a brilliant alibi to be sending the monster to murder people for you while you conspicuously play your blute in front of an open window.
Yeah, and everybody can see it. Oh, it's old Igor again, just playing the blute like he do.
We tried to kill him, but you can't try and hang someone twice. It's double indemnity.
Yeah, that guy's free and clear.
Until we catch him doing another crime, you can't retry someone for the same crime because of double indemnity. If we catch him in another crime, then you could try him again.
Yeah, I love that idea. That Igor was just getting away with it.
Yeah. Well, why don't we roll the music and get in this next section? After the death of Henry Frankenstein, his son returns to the barony to claim his inheritance and take up residence in the family estate. There he meets a grave robber that reveals his father's monster is alive but injured, inspiring him to restart his father's work and attempt to redeem his legacy.
Yeah, I mean, and they do a lot of like ground laying. Like they have like a town council meeting before Frankenstein gets there, the new Baron.
Yeah.
So they can all agree. Yeah, we don't like this guy, right? We're just not down with the Frankensteins in general. And they decide they're going to give him the cold shoulder, even though he has the rightful authority.
It's been some time since the events of Bride of Frankenstein, and the town has turned on the Frankenstein family.
Yes.
I found the original trailer online, which is rare for these old movies. It's to find those. And it says in the trailer that it's 20 years since the events of Bride of Frankenstein.
Okay.
I think it has to have been more because Basil Rathbone's like in his 40s.
Yeah.
So it's implausible that it's been only 20 years because we went from the 1800s to clearly the 1930s. There's cars.
Yeah. And it's like, have there been servants in the castle the whole time? Because it's clean, it's nice.
I get that.
Everything's good to go.
You have to do a lot of extrapolating. There's a lot of things I wonder about what happened in between the two movies.
Because we know from previous like Nosferatu films or Dracula films, what happens to a castle when you have no servants?
Yeah.
It becomes
a ruin, yeah. And so I think, here's what I think. And we'll see if this pieces together as what you also think. We saw Henry and Elizabeth flee at the end of Bride of Frankenstein.
Yes.
Clearly, they went to England and had a son there.
Who would be Wolf.
Who would be Wolf. And then Wolf, if not his mother, also went to America, where he met his wife and started a family of his own. It seems that Henry returned to the castle at some point because he's buried there.
Yes. Or maybe they just had his remains sent there.
That could be too. Because it seems like for the village, it seems like there has not been a Frankenstein there for a long time.
Yeah.
So it might be he died in England in exile and the body was shipped home to be buried in the family,
and I'm sure the Burgermeister would be like, "Oh, they sent back the Baron's body. We should bury it in his family crypt or whatever."
Here's why I think that Henry went back there and Elizabeth stayed in England is because the Burgermeister says that Henry told him to deliver this to my son.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
he definitely had to have gone back.
So I think at some point Henry went back to the castle. But it might have just been in his convalescence before he died, or who knows. There's just a lot to figure out what happened between these movies.
Yeah, it's not clear. It's interesting though, because like you said, the Wolf Frankenstein, he is definitely like a dude in his late 30s, early 40s, like the character. He may be a little younger than the actor.
Yeah. The actor is 46.
Okay.
But yes.
But he's got a young child, and his wife looks younger than him.
Yes.
Like, and the son, how old is that kid? Like 6 or 7?
Yeah, the kid's very young. Little Peter Frankenstein.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe he's supposed to be in his 30s, but he's definitely not in his 20s.
Yeah, and it's that's all interesting. And like you said about I get the impression that the servants were sent there in advance
to clean it up,
and get it ready for them. And he has sold this to his American wife like, I'm actually a baron of a Swiss
kind barony. Of a big deal.
Yeah, and we're going to go live in my castle, and it's going to be very romantic. And we're moving to the Bavaria in the 1930s when it's not politically problematic to be doing this at all. She puts what this woman puts up with is remarkable.
Yeah, for sure. Because when they get to the castle, it's not a very nice nice place to be.
No, it looks like a German expressionist nightmare castle. Like
it looks like
stairways to nowhere. Secret halls.
There aren't squares anywhere. Everything is obtuse or weird. Like it's just off.
It's all like a Tim Burton drawing sort of thing. Like
I actually had that in my notes that this thing looks like Tim Burton's inspiration for all of his animated movies.
Yeah. Like I love their dining room, which is just this huge open space with this sort of bizarre angular outcroppings up above and two sculpted boar's heads over the table, but not like not real like taxidermied boar's heads. They're like gargoyle boar's heads over the dining table.
This kind of reminds me of something that like Lydia Dietz would design for her decor. Yeah. Like she would like her house to be like this.
Yeah, it's very Beetlejuice for sure. And or like earlier Tim Burton, like Wayne Manor is also sort of like this. And she's not Elizabeth. What's her name? Elsa. Elsa's putting up with a lot moving here to live in this nasty old castle where she's basically a prisoner because
everyone around you
hates them.
Yeah, everyone around you is weird and definitely doesn't like you and doesn't want you around. You are interlopers, and they all are just these weird bumpkin Bavarians that don't like you.
Yeah, and I mean. 1939, early days of World War II. America's not involved in World War II yet, but the Nazis are firmly in power. Switzerland is not Germany. Switzerland is technically neutral, but it is completely surrounded by Axis powers. And
that's where all the Axis powers keep their money.
Yeah, right. Yeah, to this day, this is the place you hide your money at.
Yeah.
It seems deeply problematic for like a guy educated in England with an American wife to be moving there at this time period. There is sort of like a signal you would be sending by doing that politically. Yeah. You're aligning yourself with certain elements.
I wonder if Universal was just trying to be like, we're just going to ignore politics. We're just apolitical.
I think so, except for when Inspector Krogh shows up.
Yeah,
he's very Nazi.
Yeah, he just looks like a Nazi, just straight up.
Which it ends up being a fake out, right? Because he ends up being kind of like the moral center of the movie. Yeah,
he's kind of like a good dude and a justice seeker, but he looks like a Nazi
so much. Like with his little hat, and like I paused it to see, does it have like a little skull and crossbones in the middle of it? And it's
just like a black uniform
he's wearing the long raincoat and the little hat, and he looks like such a Nazi. And then he has his arm that just makes these sort of jerky Sieg Heil sort of movements.
Yeah, because it's not even a prosthetic. It's just like a fake, right?
Yeah,
like
it's a crude prosthetic. Yeah, it's a wooden arm that he has to move with his other arm.
Yeah, it seems like it's just sort of like sewn into his garment or something. It's not even like connected to his shoulder.
Yeah, because it gets ripped off pretty easy when the monster gets a hold of it. We already mentioned this, but the screenplay, such as it is by Willis Cooper. But director Roland V. Lee didn't like the screenplay and chucked out most of it. It was very different. Krogh was much more of a villain. He's someone that wanted revenge on the Frankenstein family, and that was the role that Bela Lugosi was originally supposed to play.
Wow, that would have been good for him.
Yeah, Igor the hanged man was not even in the original screenplay, so he's a complete invention.
So they totally changed it. Lee totally changed it.
Yeah, and Cooper had lots of references and homages to the earlier films in it, and other than like a big painting of Henry Frankenstein up on the wall, very little of that survives into this version of the movie. Like Lee just kind of chucked all of that out. All the Easter eggs, he's like, I don't need them. Like he's telling his own story.
Yeah, this movie definitely feels like it stands alone in its just storytelling. It's only tangentially connected to the previous ones. I mean, there's the monster that's just been there the whole time.
Yeah. Doing stuff with his buddy Igor.
Yeah, Igor informs us that the monster was made sufficiently that it's essentially immortal.
Yeah. A lot of the mythology around the monster is established in this movie. Like, they say that Henry Frankenstein had harnessed cosmic rays, and that's what's powering the monster. I mean, that's such, like, comic book language. Like, we are now in the age of superheroes. Like, Superman and Batman are a thing.
They're trying to come up with an origin story that's not just... I mean, because cosmic rays is just sunlight.
Yeah, solar radiation. Yeah, so through the lightning, Henry harnessed cosmic rays and created a superhuman. And so it is very comic booky that way. Yeah, and him and Igor have just been living there in the crypt beneath the lab.
Just monster bros.
Yeah, and, he got hit by lightning while they were out hunting. And I'm not going to elaborate any more than that. Or Igor's not going to elaborate. Because we find out Igor has been essentially killing all the jurors that had convicted him.
Yeah, he's like using the monster as a killing tool to kill every juror that convicted him and had him hung. And he had his neck broken, but he didn't die.
Yeah.
So he's got like kind of a weird hunched back and like a bony protrusion on his neck.
Right. But he's still hanging in there.
He's still killing it with his blute.
And there hasn't been anyone in the castle, right? So he's been basically just squatting in the castle,
ruling the roost. No big deal.
Yeah. What other themes we got? Legacy is a big one. Family legacy. Henry is like, even on the train ride, is very upset about his family name being tarnished. And people calling the monster Frankenstein.
Yeah, he hates that. He's like, they call the monster Frankenstein.
Yeah, it felt very meta. Like,
they're just correcting all the people.
Yeah, even in the 1930s, that had become commonplace that people refer to the monster as Frankenstein.
Yeah,
and so we'll feel some type of way about that, and. He gets real swept up in redeeming his father's legacy and kind of becomes the mad scientist himself.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that in the first couple of movies, especially the first movie, the monster is a sympathetic being. He's not really a sympathetic creature in this movie, but in a meta way, he is, because he's being used. Igor's not really his friend. He's basically just being manipulated to kill people. And Igor is using the music to control him or whatever. And it's just like, the monster plays a non-central role in this. He's just a cat's paw. He's just a tool. Yeah.
And that's why, like, watching it, because I kind of came into this with, like, a little bit of my child's mind, and this was never my favorite. And watching it, it's because it's not about the monster.
Yeah.
It's kind of about a weird chess game between Igor, Wolf, and Inspector Krogh. Like, and them sort of trying to get one over on the other one. And the monster is just completely, like you said, like he's a cat's paw for Igor and an object of fixation for the other two guys.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, obviously this movie it's called Son of Frankenstein, and just sort of the lay person's viewpoint. If the monster is Frankenstein, it might imply that another monster is created.
Yeah.
Or just sort of like in the second movie, the title is misleading, Bride of Frankenstein, whereas that's sort of the MacGuffin idea. You don't actually get much Bride of Frankenstein at all. This movie is just about a dude, literally the son of the Baron. Like, they could have just called this Baron Frankenstein.
Right.
Like,
it's a bit more than that because, like Igor says, essentially implies that they're brothers. The monster is also the son of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And little Peter is also the son of Frankenstein, right? Like, there's a legacy that makes the the monster is Peter's uncle, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and the monster has affection for Peter.
And he's Wolf's brother.
Yeah. It's interesting, the idea of them being brothers. They don't explore it deeply at all, but they hint at it.
Yeah, they just throw it out there for consideration.
Yeah. Do you think Igor does stuff with the monster?
Oof. I don't know.
There is certain times, like, that's why, because Igor is, like, always, like, hugging the monster and talking about how they love each other. And, like, the monster's laying there in the bed and Igor's, like, clinging to him and smiling. And they're making these, kind of making eyes at each other. And I looked over at Lisa and I go, does Igor jerk the monster? And she was like, I think he does. I think there's something that
this is a family show, Nick.
I just get the impression that Igor has really worked at building this attachment the monster feels for him.
Yeah, he's I have a feeling that Igor is doing unclean things with the monster.
It really likes him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the monster is real. When he really is sad when he thinks Igor is dead. Spoiler for the next movie, Ghost of Frankenstein. Igor is somehow alive when that movie starts. Yeah. But when the monster thinks Igor is dead, he's really upset about it.
And does Bela Lugosi play him in the next one?
No. The one after. So, so there's 8 movies total from Universal, Frankenstein movies. Mm-hmm. The first 3 with Boris Karloff. The next one is Ghost of Frankenstein, and Lon Chaney Jr., fresh off the Wolfman, plays the monster in that one.
Okay.
With Bela reprising his role as Igor. But Bela has his brain put into the monster's body at the end of that movie.
Ooh.
And then in the follow-up, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, Bela Lugosi plays the monster with Lon Chaney reprising his role as the Wolfman. Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, Glenn Strange plays the monster for the next 3 movies.
Okay, interesting. What happened to Boris Karloff?
He's done with this.
He's just like, I'm tired of that.
Yeah, he seems tired of it in this movie.
Yeah.
So I think, he just, for him, there was nowhere else to go. When he comes back to the series, it's as a new mad scientist. In House of Frankenstein, he comes back as the doctor with Glenn Strange playing the monster.
Okay, that's interesting. I guess you're a Frankenstein super fan. So
Yeah,
you've seen all this stuff.
I'm an enthusiast. Some of them I've seen fewer times than others. A lot of these movies, of 8 movies, most of them I've only seen one time. Yeah, it's just these first few that I've seen multiple times.
All right. We want to move on to visuals?
Let's do it, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that this movie's cinematography, which I've got George Robinson,
right?
It's very stylized, very expressionist with all of the dramatic shadows and high contrast lighting. Mm-hmm. Like, they're really taking the... they're taking that German style and they're really running with it. And I like that.
Yeah. George Robinson, he was the cinematographer on the original Dracula. He worked with Lee on some of his other movies, like the Count of Monte Cristo and stuff like that. And then after this, he goes on to basically be the guy that shoots the Universal monster movies going forward. He's the house cinematographer for all the rest of the series.
They're like, okay, this is the guy. He gets the monies. He'll do the thing.
We have him on staff, and when we make these movies, he shoots them.
Yeah, they probably just paid him a salary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Universal is and that's just how everything worked.
Workman-like.
This is where they talk about the Hollywood studio system. Everyone is sort of contract players at the various studios, and when
no one's got points,
and when someone jumps over to another studio, it's like that's a big deal. Like when sports players change teams, you have to kind of buy out a contract and make a suitable salary offer that you're going to pull them away from their studio.
Yeah.
Except for if you're Bela Lugosi, who would do absolutely anything for money. He was. This is partially why Universal sort of turns on him, because he would be in literally anything as long as he was top billed.
Oh, kind of a scab.
Yeah, well,
or not a scab.
Not a scab, but it's just someone,
a free agent,
and diluting the brand, right?
Okay.
Like if you want to be Dracula and you're playing in every B vampire movie out there, you're diluting the Universal brand, and that upsets them. They're like, you can't be making vampire movies all over town. And he's like, they're paying me. You want me to make vampire movies? You pay me to make vampire movies.
Yeah, or I mean, just put him under option, like put him under contract, that's what they do nowadays.
Exactly. You pay him to not make movies.
Exactly.
If you feel like him making movies at other studios hurts you, you pay him to not make movies. Pay him to sit here. Yeah. So you mentioned the cinematography. Also, art direction is by Jack Otterson, and set decoration by Russell Gaussman. And they really get credited for the German expressionist look of these sets. Yeah,
these sets are they remind me of like the Nosferatu sets.
Oh, yeah. And Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Someone's watching these old German silent movies. But I was looking because I know that a lot of the German people, like the German filmmakers and people that worked in the industry there, fled as soon as the Nazis took power and were working in Hollywood. But all these guys seem like they're American, like they're all kind of born in Pittsburgh and American places, just working in a sort of Germanic style.
Yeah, they just, they take the homage. That's interesting that we didn't have any Germans on this. Yeah, I really liked the big castle. Mm-hmm. I thought it looked cool. It didn't look like a real castle. It looked like a stylized, like a bizarro world version of a castle. And
it doesn't look like the castle we have seen in the previous movies.
Yeah.
It's drastically different. But, people don't have home video, if you haven't seen a Frankenstein movie for 5 years, maybe you don't exactly remember what the castle looked like, and you just sort of roll with it.
Yeah, they couldn't have watched the other ones recently.
Yeah, and it's added this sort of wrinkle, both that there's sulfur pits beneath the laboratory.
Oh, that date back to ancient
Roman times. Yeah, the Roman mineral baths that have become toxic sulfur pits.
Yes. They're really going kind of wild with various things.
Yeah, and there's secret tunnels between the lab and the castle, which we've never seen before, that lead through the walls into the bedroom, so you can creep back and forth and peep at people and stuff.
Yeah, it's next level. I mean, I like some of the stuff in here. I like the laboratory sets. I like the complex machinery and all the stuff in the lab. I think that it's just getting better as you go. Like the lab sets, they just look really good.
Yeah, and so the top of the lab has been blown off since the last movie. The idea that there's this secret crypt underneath of it is added, that they do a really great job of selling how heavy the door to the crypt is and how strong Igor is, because Igor can pull that door open, but Wolf can't. He puts his foot up on the wall and tries to drag the stone door open and can't do it. So Igor, besides having a broken neck, is super strong himself.
Yeah, he's a beast. And I mean, Wolf is kind of a fancy lad.
He is sort of a fancy lad. That's true. Yeah, he's fresh back from America.
Yeah, he's not a warrior. He's just a dude. He's a noble.
Yeah. He's sort of someone fleeing war, I think.
Yeah. He's kind of a coward, if you will.
He might be.
He had bone spurs.
Yeah, he's like, I wasn't able to serve. Yeah. Again, makeup by Jack Pierce, and Kenneth Strickfaden's electrical gizmos in play once more.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's all a lot of this stuff is recurring from the previous films, like the same players.
I mean, it's a massive series, and it's in this sort of, I guess, production line cinema style. So a lot of this kind of looks the same. I noticed that the monster himself looked a little different than before. He looked more gaunt, a little more angular in the makeup. It looked more severe. Okay. And it also, he kind of looked like a little older and a little more decayed. Like he'd been sort of like just in a crypt for a couple of decades.
He's been through it. And it was also, this is the introduction of his big woolly vest.
Oh, yeah.
Which you always see that in a lot of artwork that goes on to be, even though this is the only movie it appears in, that becomes a signature of the monster in illustration.
I like the woolly vest.
Yeah. Big sheep. I imagine, I don't know.
Maybe a couple of sheep. Maybe Igor sewed it at the shoulders, you know, so got a pelt on the front, pelt on the back.
Yeah. And so, Igor's taking care of his buddy.
Igor's kind of his wife.
He's out there, he's murdering for Igor. And so Igor's going to take care of him.
In all the ways.
Yeah. Whatever it takes to keep the monster happy.
God, Igor is just doing what he's got to do.
I on some level you root for the two of them because they are such.
I was on Team Igor the whole time.
Societal pariahs, right? Like, the village hates the monster, like famously, and they hate Igor. He's just
barely tolerated.
Because they just can't hang him again for the same crime.
Yeah,
like bureaucracy of the burger system is keeping him alive.
Yeah, they're not willing to like murder him.
Yeah,
but they hate that he's around. They really wish he would leave.
Yeah, and that's how he ends up hanging out in the castle.
Yeah,
because no one wants to go there, and so it's a place he can live and murder with impunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Team Igor.
Yeah, no, I love Igor. He's my favorite part of the movie, and so I am also kind of on Team Igor. And it's just fun. Bela's having so much fun.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that performance. But let's talk about audio.
Yeah.
We got Frank Skinner
on the score. Mm-hmm. Good score. I was listening to it on the drive over here. It's super bombastic.
Spooky and very classic horror movie.
Yeah. And Universal liked it so much, they constantly reuse it throughout the kind of both the rest of the Frankenstein movie horror movies, but also in their Sherlock Holmes movies with Basil Rathbone. They reuse the music from this movie.
Hopefully Frank Skinner got paid each time.
Yeah, that's how that works, I think. And it's a good story. It's a good score, and through that reiteration, using those cues over and over again, those become the sounds that you associate with this series.
Yeah, like the low brass and percussion. It's just really strong.
Yeah, and especially because the first movie doesn't have a score at all.
Yeah,
this kind of becomes the score to the series in the public imagination, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, it's like these movies kind of blend together, and you take the things you like from each in your mind.
Yeah, and just make it into one movie.
Yeah, or just one idea of Frankenstein.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And then the sound supervisor was Bernard B. Brown. Mm-hmm. Over the course of the 1930s, I think they figured out how to do sound in movies. Like, it's relatively modern sounding at this point.
Yeah, it actually feels a little bit bombastic. It doesn't feel there isn't much subtlety to it.
Yeah, totally. It's those sort of big quiet moments are very few and far between in this movie.
It's very extra. The music is not subtle. The sound design is not subtle.
Yeah,
but that's fine. The movie is it creeps along, and there's a lot of moments of just sort of chatting. Like it's just like Wolf and Elsa just just chewing the fat.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. So you got to have some excitement somewhere.
Yeah. And that's a great segue into the performances.
Yeah.
Because I love how Wolf unravels over the course of the movie.
Yeah, he starts off and he's kind of like a dapper, put together dude.
Yeah, and he shows up here and he's all about kind of like, we're going to put a Frankenstein back in this castle and, we're
going to make
things
Frankenstein
better.
great again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maffa. Yeah, no, let's not use that. But he becomes completely unhinged as the thing goes on, and as the walls start kind of closing in, the inspector is getting closer on his, like, figuring out what's going on, and like his hair is very tight and slicked back at the beginning.
Yeah,
but by the time he goes to like murder Igor, his hair's all like wild, and he's starting to kind of look like what Mel Brooks is homaging in Young Frankenstein becomes very clear in watching this.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that Basil Rathbone's performance is really good. It's like you said, he takes a journey, and I think it's just a really good portrayal.
Yeah, you've mentioned a few times like people being introduced as iconic characters, and so they don't have an arc.
Yeah,
Wolf has an arc. Like, he shows up like very sort of naive about what's happened there, goes off the rails, and then gets back, like, to save his son at the end, sort of like pulls himself back from the abyss, right, of madness.
Yeah.
And is able to do the right thing and kill it. Or, this monster never dies.
Yeah,
But
it's eternal cash cow.
Yeah. Briefly defeat the monster at the end of this movie. So he actually does have sort of a character arc.
Yeah, it's interesting. And like you mentioned at the end, when I was watching this, I was like, wow, he's actually kind of evoking, in my mind, the Frankenstein movie of my youth, like Young Frankenstein. Like, he's evoking that kind of Gene Wilder-esque vibes, which obviously it's the reverse. Gene Wilder is channeling Basil Rathbone, but in my life, I saw one before the other.
Yeah, Young Frankenstein is certainly the Frankenstein movie that was the most available. Like, it ran on Comedy Central all the time,
yeah, it was always on, and it was good.
Yeah, I've definitely watched it more than the other movies. And I always knew that Basil Rathbone was most well known for playing Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize is that this predates the Sherlock Holmes movies.
Oh, okay.
So he goes on to play Sherlock Holmes in 14 films.
Dang.
After this.
They're like, that guy plays a pretty decent Englishman.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's actually an Englishman.
Whatever. That's beside the point.
Yeah. But he is so iconic as Sherlock Holmes that he overwrote the book version. You know what I mean? Like, when you think of Sherlock Holmes, it's Basil Rathbone in the deerstalker cap.
Yeah, I love that hat.
Despite the fact he never wears that outfit in any of the movies, and Basil Rathbone doesn't look particularly like Sherlock Holmes is described in the books.
I mean, when you say Sherlock Holmes, I think of like Robert Downey Jr.
Do you? That's very, very young of you. I think the Great Mouse Detective. Actually,
no, I've taught those stories so many times at different grade levels. The Sherlock Holmes. It's like a how to write basic fiction. Yeah. It's so fundamental. Yeah. So like I do love it. And I have watched a bunch of those Basil Rathbone joints.
And I do like the Guy Ritchie, Robert Downey Jr. ones.
Yeah, those are good modern takes.
And I think the Cumberbatch version that's modernized
is
actually like the most like adheres closest to the books, even though it changes the setting.
Yeah, I like the Cumberbatch one, not to get too sidetracked, because I love the treatment of Watson.
Yes.
That's why I like it so much.
Totally. Okay, so that's Basil out of the way. Karloff comes. This is Karloff's final time portraying the monster.
Pretty good.
When he's in it, he's
barely there.
For half the movie.
He's like the Bride of Frankenstein in this movie.
Yeah,
he's barely there.
He's asleep for half the movie, or like semi-comatose. Really only goes into action in the third act of the movie.
I bet if you counted minutes, Peter Frankenstein has more minutes than the monster.
Shame.
Absolute shame.
That's a shame. But the monster does. I've always felt like the monster feels out of character in this movie because he's much more murdery than he is in the first two movies.
Yeah, he's angry as hell.
And he full on like kills people and then makes it look like an accident. So it's very premeditated murder.
Are you sure that's not just the Blute?
The Blute is... How much control does the Blute have on him? I don't know.
I don't actually like that plot element that he's controlled by the music or whatever.
I think the music... I mean, we know he likes music. That was established in the last film. I don't think the music controls him. I think the music is just for the sake of Igor's alibi.
Oh, okay. You think it's they're connected, but not like that. Okay.
Because like when he kills the apothecary guy, Igor goes and makes a chalk mark on the door, and the monster knows well enough to go there to that place and murder the guy inside. And I mean, you just couldn't convey that sort of message through Blute. I don't believe.
I mean, they have had literally decades to refine it.
Yeah, even the most evocative Blute player couldn't convey.
When I go doodle doodle doo, that means you're in the right spot. Get with the murdering.
Yeah, but like the monster swings down out of a tree like an ape and grabs that guy off of his carriage, kills him. And then lays him underneath the wheels and makes the horses run over him.
Yeah, this is very much not your father's Frankenstein's monster. This is different.
Yeah. He's much meaner.
Yeah.
Except for to little Peter, who he has an affection for. That's his nephew.
His family.
And Peter gave him a book, and he gives Peter the pocket watch of a dead man.
Yeah. Look what I stole.
Yeah. I murdered your butler. Do you want his things?
Yes. Poor butler guy.
Who do you got next?
I don't know. We talked about Basil. We talked about Boris Karloff. Have we talked about Bela Lugosi enough? Because, I mean, my opinion, he's the star of the movie.
You can never talk about Bela as Igor enough.
He's the number one in this whole movie. Yeah. Like, I started watching, this is my first time watching this, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, this is fine, whatever. And then Bela Lugosi comes on as Igor. I'm like, is that Bela Lugosi? Mm-hmm. I'm like, it is. Yeah. Damn. And then he's just like, oh, he's so good. He's awesome.
He's so fun, and he's such a weasel. And a master manipulator. And like, because his introduction to Wolf is he tries to push a big rock on his head, right?
Yeah. And
then Wolf is like, he's got the deer rifle and he's ready to blast on Bela. And so he comes down and he starts spinning. He's like, I thought you were a robber. And he's like,
absolutely.
And he's like, hey, I know something, distraction, right? He says, I know something you'll want to see. Come down here into the crypt. Look at this. It's your father's monster on the slab.
I do love that scene. Absolutely. Like, he's like, why did you try to murder me with a rock? Like, oh, I thought you were a burglar. Like, this isn't your house, dude.
Right. He's like, I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's crazy. Like, Bela Lugosi is just like spreading his wings on this character.
And like, I'll hold on to some of the specifics for when we get the later segments, but like the way he plays everyone, like when he's
a manipulator.
He's there. The burgers bring him in for questioning, and you kind of have this sense of like, oh, they're going to put the screws to him, but he just plays all of them. Like he doesn't. They never have the upper hand over him, and he's just sort of like plotting his next move at any given moment.
Absolutely. It's a really great performance.
Yeah.
And
And he plays the mean blute.
Yeah, I mean, he's the Kenny G of his time.
The Kenny G of his time, for sure. The next one I got is Lionel Atwell as Inspector Krogh.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, and it is such a good fake out having him come in.
You think he's the bad guy?
Yeah, and he was originally intended to be the bad guy of the script, and I don't know if it's Atwell's performance that kind of moves him into a sympathetic role, or if it was Lee's change. But for whatever reason, he becomes, the moral center of this movie.
Yeah, it's like, who's this fucking Nazi?
Yeah.
And then he's like a decent guy, and then later on, he's like, I still have my hat on, sir.
Oh, that is such a good scene where, like, he's like, I want to remind you, like, he's like, I haven't taken my hat off. That means I'm here in an official capacity.
Yeah. I am not your friend. I am a cop.
Yeah. When I come here and the hat comes off, we're pals. This means I'm here to question you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Basil, as Wolf, starts, like, cracking immediately. Like, he's not... Unlike Igor, Wolf is not good under pressure. Like, he's like... So I'm arrested then? He's like, I didn't say you were arrested then. It's like, you're going to arrest me in my own home? And he's just like, is there something I should be arresting you for? No, of course not. I've never brought a monster to life. I'm not an accessory to murder.
Someone really needs to tell Wolf, like, dude, don't talk to cops. Ask for a lawyer.
Yeah.
You got to do that.
And, I mean, you're the Baron of a medieval village.
Doesn't that guy work for you?
Yeah, everyone here works for you. You are not on the hook to anyone. They all work for you as the Baron. That's the way feudal systems work.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Like, I really liked Inspector Krogh. I thought at first you're not supposed to like him, and he's an authority guy. And then you're like, oh, it's actually kind of a sympathetic dude. Mm-hmm. He had his arm torn off by the monster.
Yeah, but like dealing with it in a pretty healthy way. It has not. He's traumatized, but it didn't make him into a bad man.
Yeah, it doesn't define him.
Yeah,
he's a disabled guy, but that's not the sum of who he is.
Yeah, and he's very kind, dealing with both Elsa and little Peter.
Yeah,
like he does nothing but try to help the Frankenstein family through the whole movie.
Yeah, he just wants to get the bad guys.
Yeah. And then Lionel Atwell goes on to star in literally every Frankenstein movie after this.
Wow.
The next 5 films, not playing Krogh, but often playing a police inspector.
Okay.
Just different police inspectors.
Yeah, it's just whatever.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
But yeah, he becomes a fixture of this series. And also... notorious sex pervert.
Ooh.
No, like I think just in a swinging kind of fun way, not in a bad.
Oh, he's not a bad guy or a pest. He's just like a weirdo.
Like James Whale, he is well known for hosting get-togethers where like-minded individuals would come and enjoy each other's company. He ended up getting in legal trouble for showing pornographic films at his the orgies that he hosted.
Oh, that's illegal. I guess it was.
It was in those times. Yeah, I don't know what exactly.
I mean, the internet is a thing now, so this is definitely not illegal.
Yeah, but in those days, he was quite a scandalous man, known for having sex parties.
I guess he's just an eccentric Hollywood star.
Yeah, I think that's why people moved to Hollywood, was to do things like that. He's like, oh, I'll be a movie star, have orgies. It'll be great.
Yeah, I mean...
And I'll be in all the Frankenstein movies.
Just living the life.
Yeah.
So I've got Josephine Hutchinson as Elsa von Frankenstein.
Yeah.
She's pretty decent.
Thankless role with very little to do, but her facial acting is like bonkers. It's so good.
I just think she brings a lot of just like humanizing like presence. She's got she's just got a bit of a aura of like a good, nice person. Like she's not in any of this weird European nonsense.
She is so good at looking very uncomfortable with what her husband is telling her.
Yeah.
Like that was like the overwhelming impression I got of her was someone doing mental gymnastics to ignore red flags that she can't help but see. And like, cause he'll be like, he starts ranting about his father's legacy or whatever, and she just looks deeply concerned. You know, and then we'll be like, "Oh, well, of course I'm here for you." Like, you know, she doesn't have, she's fairly passive, but it's just a really good portrayal of a woman who is attached to a man that's losing it.
Yeah, in this era of filmmaking, women are almost always just marginalized,
like an afterthought.
Set pieces. Yeah, they're just sort of an accessory unit, and she does an admirable job trying to make the role more than it is. But the writing really just doesn't give her anything to work with.
She almost certainly is doing more than the writing is giving her to do.
Yeah, she probably trained on the stage and knows how to make something out of nothing, and she does a decent job at it.
Yeah. My next one is little Donnie Dunnigan as Peter von Frankenstein. Annoying moppet.
Yeah, this kid, he's just a curly-haired, he's just like a boy version of Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavy American Southern accent.
Yeah.
Which is sort of hilarious. I'm hunting elephants.
Yeah. Just get out of here, Peter. Like, yeah, this is an Ewok or a whatever. This is a gun. This is for the people.
It's and then Donnie Dunnigan was very self-critical. Like, obviously, you become an adult and you've been a child actor in a movie.
Oh yeah.
He was very embarrassed in later life of the role. He felt that he was very corny, and he said that they just directed him to be louder, essentially, because he was soft-spoken to begin with, and they couldn't hear him, anything he was saying. So his weird delivery is a result of that direction.
He's half yelling everything.
Yeah, just like, I'm out hunting elephants and tigers and like whatever. And it just, he feels so out of place in the movie, basically until the end when he becomes the MacGuffin, right? Because the monster has him.
The character's just nothing. He's just nothing.
But he's with his like curly blonde hair. It is easy to imagine him becoming the Gene Wilder character in Young Frankenstein. Like it does. Gene Wilder does sort of.
Is that Peter Frankenstein? Is that who that's supposed to be?
He's called Frederick in that.
Okay.
But he's also has changed his name too, because that's the whole plot point of that movie, right? That he calls himself Frankenstein instead of Frankenstein. I don't know. I don't think he is not literally Peter von Frankenstein, but he is basically the grown-up version of Peter von Frankenstein.
Okay. I mean, there's a couple more, like Emma Dunn as Amelia the servant and Edgar Norton as Thomas Benson the butler. I mean, they're fine.
R.I.P. poor Benson.
He got totally killed by the monster.
Murdered in the secret passageway and just left there to stink up the house.
Yep. Rest in power.
Anyone else? The Burgermaster Lawrence Grant? Nah. All these people. None of these people matter. These are just people for Igor to have killed.
Yeah, just another victim.
Well, then I guess we're getting into the wrap-up. What's your personal highlight?
Well, I think I'm going to beat you to it.
Are you?
Igor is the highlight. Bela Lugosi's performance.
Yeah.
It's probably his best non-Dracula role that I've ever seen, and I've done a lot of... I did some reading on this, and I just felt like he was able to create this villain that was simultaneously kind of pitiable but also sinister.
Yeah.
He was he's just kind of had this haunting laugh and kind of an iconic leaned over sort of posture with his hunchback, and ultimately I just feel like he was like this deranged, manipulative villain who you couldn't help but somehow like. Yeah. So that's my highlight of the movie. How about you?
I'm just going to be more specific because for me, it's Igor's testimony when the burgers call him in to question him.
I do like that scene.
And he runs laps around them in the courtroom while they're questioning him. And he's like, because they're asking like, what's Frankenstein been, you were helping him unload those boxes. What's in the boxes? I don't know, doctor things, machines. He is doctor, I am blacksmith. Like he's just, and then he starts like kind of poking and prodding and kind of gets people to talk about how there's only 2 jurors left that had convicted him. And he's like, yes, I remember you. Lang, you were one of them. Not many of you left. Like, and it's like, that's really threatening. Like, to be sitting on the witness stand and basically point out the 2 people you haven't managed to kill yet and call them out by name.
Absolutely.
And be like, I remember you tried to kill me.
It's extremely gangster.
It is. And then he coughs in that guy's face as he's leaving. And he says,
excuse me.
Bone in my throat.
Yeah, it was really good. Like, that scene was awesome. He really just kind of owned those guys.
Yeah. And he does. And he gets his full revenge. Mm-hmm. He kills all of the jurors that convicted him. And because he's like, they accuse me of body snatching. Allegedly. He was body snatching.
Yeah, absolutely. He killed the jurors who rightfully convicted him.
That is the thing. You root for him despite the fact that he actually deserved his punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, I don't support the death penalty, even for body snatching.
Well, yeah, that wasn't even a capital crime. Death penalty, even the most harsh capital punishment, people usually say it should only be for like murder. Yeah, not for stealing corpses.
Yeah, and really, what's he doing? Pulling the gold fillings out, or like?
Yeah,
that's just poverty is the real villain here.
Just put him in stocks and let people throw
tomatoes at him. All right, what worked for you?
I liked how the real villain of this movie was Igor.
Yeah.
That subverted my expectations. I thought the monster would be the villain, and he kind of was, but he was more like a tool of the real villain.
Yeah.
I liked that how this movie felt like it had a plot. That was not just extremely basic linear.
Yeah.
Like, there's a motivation. He's doing a thing. Wolf Frankenstein has an arc. It just kind of felt like this having a new type of villain was just kind of emblematic of how this movie was different in its writing. I also thought the production design in this movie was extremely good. I really liked how stylized it was, how it was wearing that German expressionist inspiration like on its sleeve. I think that Jack Otterson did an amazing job with this, and I like the angular castles and laboratory, and I feel like it's got like a grandiose feel and vibe, like a Tim Burton movie, but it's not.
Dr. Frankenstein from Nightmare Before Christmas, his lab in the tower is just like this lab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what about you? What worked for you?
Again, I'm going to repeat a bunch of things that you said. The expressionist sets are marvelous. This is the last of the big budget Universal horror movies. We've talked about it a few times. They got close to $500,000 on this, which was way over budget. And they cut the budgets way back after this. And they do move into less of a auteur-driven system and more of a production line. And so this is the last really grand Universal monster movie where they're really pulling out all the stops. And it looks great. Basil Rathbone, Bela Lugosi, and Lawrence Grant give really good layered performances. They have pathos.
Agree.
They have interesting motivations. And they just it's not naturalistic. We're not there. There's no one's doing naturalistic performances yet.
Yeah.
But it is more sophisticated acting than we have seen previously. And then finally, there's a real tension in this movie. Like you said, it's almost like a thriller, and it's got not only does it have like an A plot, it's got like a B and a C plot. Like it has plot threads that weave around each other in a very modern way.
I very commonly complain about the lack of plot in these monster movies. This one, no, not at all.
Yeah, it's plotty, not too plotty. Like you can follow it, but it is like there's stuff going on, and that's really fun, and it leaves you, kind of not knowing what's going to happen next.
Absolutely.
What didn't work for you?
All right. Well, I was kind of bored with this movie.
I expect this.
It was slow. There was not a lot of, I don't expect action in every movie, but it's just like, it just kind of dragged. It didn't feel like it was like getting to things, and I guess that might just be the era that it's from.
Right.
It's not extremely interesting. Like almost every scene where they're really just sort of, I don't know, role playing with Peter, like just letting him talk about his nonsense and stuff. I'm just like, get through it, get on with it. All right.
Yeah.
It just felt slow.
The one good scene with Peter is when the inspector is in the room.
Yeah, that's the only good one where he's talking about the giant and stuff. The rest of them, just delete them.
Yeah.
I did not like the monster's reduced role and lack of personality. This is not the same monster that said we all belong dead at the end of the last movie.
He's regressed a lot.
Yeah, this is not much of a monster. This is kind of like the movie is not about the monster, and I think Lee really missed the point of directing a Frankenstein movie. Frankenstein's movies should be about the monster.
Right.
And this is not. He's basically an accessory. You could have literally just replaced him with like a very angry dog, and it would have been the same movie. The old Baron's like hound that lurks around the castle. He's been tamed by the old hunchback guy. Yeah. Like literally the monster is not even important to this movie.
Yeah.
That's weird.
You say that, and Murders of the Rue Morgue, where Bela Lugosi has an orangutan that he has murder people. It's kind of the same.
Yeah, it's like the same movie. Yeah. So I also I put this in this category, but I know some people actually would put this in the what works for them. But the whole mad scientist trope. Come on, why do you got to go from a dandy to a mad scientist? Is this just a genetic flaw? Like, what's going on, guy? Like, you were not a scientist.
The old Baron didn't have that problem, right? The old Baron was just happy with his wine. And
yeah, absolutely. This is a weird thing. Like the movie, you had to include a mad scientist.
Yeah,
but not much of the monster.
Yeah,
what the hell?
Right.
Like, you should have just had Wolf stay as Wolf and then have more monster.
And more monster.
More monster.
Okay.
So what about you? What didn't work for you?
So as a kid, I always found this one boring. And what I realized why that is, and this is something you just were talking about, is that it's not centered on the monster in the way the first two movies are. Particularly after Bride of Frankenstein, where the monster has, like, quite a bit of progression, like intellectually and sort of character development. It's such a step backwards to where he just sort of becomes a puppet for Igor to manipulate.
It's just barely a thing.
Yeah, and that just always has sort of bothered me that the monster is not. It doesn't, even though it's Karloff, it does not feel like the same character, like you said. So it allows Igor to outshow him. I miss James Whale and his sort of edgy humor and subversive material that he slept in.
There's like no humor in this except for Igor occasionally.
Igor gets some laughs. if you are also a little kid, maybe you think Peter is funny, but he's not. You know, yeah. Igor gets the only laughs, and it's a very sort of
it's macabre.
Devilish humor, macabre humor for sure. So I just sort of miss the sort of the subversive touch that Whale put on this. Like, he liked playing with sort of blasphemous ideas, and there's no spitting in the face of God in this movie. Like, no one is sort of interested in that subversion in this. And then finally, I think the ending of the movie feels really unearned, because the Frankensteins are sort of escorted out of town like heroes, and they've done nothing good for this town. Basically, they kind of stumbled into and abetted a murder plot, and then just because they also helped foil the murderer, and they sign over the deed to the castle to the town celebrates them as they leave. I didn't need Wolf to die, but like some sort of repercussions for his terrible actions would have been better.
Yeah, I agree.
So like, just the ending just feels like, how do they get a happy ending out of this?
The ending felt whack.
Yeah. So, final thoughts and rating.
3 stars.
Okay, you're a strong 3.
I'm just not going to beat around the bush. The thing is this movie had a plot, which is great. It had beautiful scenes and cinematography and sets, but it's boring. It has an annoying kid. Yeah. The ending is not satisfying. Yeah. So it's like, okay, if you're a monster movie guy, like if you're a Frankenstein fan or a Bela Lugosi fan, you should watch this, because there are some things to like. Like, the Igor character is awesome and iconic. The sets are amazing. Yeah. But this is not one, like, if someone's not a monster movie fan, I wouldn't be like, oh, Son of Frankenstein, you better check that one out. Oh. I definitely wouldn't be like recommending this to people. Okay. I would say this is niche. What about you? What do you give it?
I fully expected to rate this a 3 also. I went in, like, I sort of pre-rated it. I said it's going to be 4.53 from the start. Ooh. But then watching this, I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. And
6?
No, 6. No, and I felt I'm because I think it is better than a 3-star. Like, we're in that sort of 3.5, and I got off the fence on the 4-star side because of my enthusiasm. Okay. But I think a lot of people would agree with you on the 3. I think that's the general consensus on the movie, is that it's in that ballpark.
Yeah, the IMDb is 7.1. The Rotten Tomatoes is just, this is weird. It's 95%, but that just means almost everyone gave it positive.
Yeah, so that could be all 3-star reviews.
And then Letterboxd is 3.4. Okay. So we're in the realm. Yeah. But yeah, the thing is like, after I watched this movie, I thought to myself, dang, it had a plot. That was cool. Yeah. And I was like, man, and Bela Lugosi just rocked this movie. Yeah. But it's just like not that good. It's just all right.
I think the fact, if they had more time on the script ahead of time and had this tightened up, because the other movies are shorter, right? They're both 70 minutes, and this one's like close to 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a little long.
Yeah, and a lot of that is people explaining what's going on, and that's just never stimulating to sit through.
Not at all.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break, and we'll come back with the Vault of Darkness.
Before we delve into the Vault of Darkness, we ask that all initiates of the cult follow us on your favorite social media platforms at Nightshade Cult.
If you've enjoyed this content, help us grow the cult by sharing it with like-minded people and leave us a review wherever you listen. And definitely thanks for all the comments on the various episodes. We got lots of thumbs up, even if people don't comment. Yeah. Much appreciated. That helps with the algorithm.
Cultist Lance and Cultist James basically comment on every episode, and we It just helps.
Yeah, because we keep getting more. The algorithm is responsible for the majority of our new listeners, so that's awesome.
Do you have any dark tidings before we get into the vault?
Nothing new.
No, me either. So what are you pulling out of the vault of darkness?
All right. I went with science fiction because at least it's sort of on cue, right? Yeah. I'm doing a retread. This is something I've circled back around to. I've a franchise that I have both read the books and watched the show.
Okay.
Altered Carbon.
Oh, you're going back to that. Okay.
Yeah. So I decided to go back and watch the show again, even though this is a Netflix series and there's only 2 seasons of it, and they are good. They're not great. They're like 4-star TV. But if you like cyberpunk as a genre, or you played the video games, or like Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever, this is awesome. It's just so good. It's got so much mood. The idea, for if you haven't seen it or read the books, for the cultists out there, it's 360 years in the future, and there's a futuristic metropolis called Bay City, basically San Francisco area, and technology. We passed the singularity in technology, which is a concept where you can digitize human consciousness.
Okay.
And so the idea is you can take your digitized human consciousness, and they put it on this sort of chip thing called a cortical stack,
right,
which can be implanted in the vertebrae or like kind of base of the spine of new bodies. They call it re-sleeving,
right.
And so also, this is sort of the special thing that makes this cyberpunk different, and most of the TV series takes place it's grounded, it's on Earth, but if you read the books, the books are by Richard K. Morgan, and they are so good. The first one's Altered Carbon, second one Broken Angels, the third one Woken Furies, and it goes full sci-fi. It goes out into space doing crazy stuff, because they have a thing they call it needle casting, basically, where you can beam the info of your cortical stack, your consciousness, to another location where it can be put into a body. And this is, of course, insanely expensive. So it's only done by the super rich or the military, where they have operatives who can be active on, Luna or Mars or a space station through needle cast, just as needed, if they have like combat sleeves, aka bodies with cybernetics and everything. Right. It's just awesome cyberpunk, straight up. If you want a TV show, Altered Carbon is pretty good. If you want the books, audiobook or regular book, the novels are well worth your time if you enjoy this genre, which of course is one of my favorite genres.
Okay, so that was there's a movie coming? Oh, an animated movie. Yeah,
they're doing the property has been kind of licensed around. There will be more from Altered Carbon. There's also a comic book of it if you want to check that out, graphic novel stuff. But I think that it's a really cyberpunk is an evergreen genre for me, and this is a really good property and a really good concept.
Okay.
So how about you? What are you pulling out of the vault?
I've been kind of waiting to do this across, we've been going through these 3 movies. This was it had to be my recommendation on one of the 3, and I waited till this one because I think it is pulling from all 3 of them, and that is a movie we've talked about a few times this evening. Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein from 1974. American comedy horror. In my opinion, kind of a lot of people talk about Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein as being the best comedy horror. I actually think Young Frankenstein is the best version of this genre.
I think so. It's really good.
It, especially if you've just watched these 3 movies that we've watched, if you watch Young Frankenstein, it is pulling from all 3 of them in great measure.
The jokes all hit.
Yeah, they'll hit differently, and It's the last time that Kenneth Strickfaden's machines got used. He passed away shortly after it, so it's sort of a send-off for his career. And especially after watching Son of Frankenstein, every time we saw little Peter, I thought, that's little Gene Wilder. That kid grows up to be the guy in Young Frankenstein. And apparently Igor had a son too,
and he goes on to become Willy Wonka in his next life.
Totally. If you've watched these movies and enjoyed them at all, you definitely would get a lot out of Young Frankenstein. Sadly, it is not streaming anywhere in America right now, but it is very available in physical media. Like you can get the DVDs for quite cheap on Amazon.
Yeah, half the time when you're looking for something, you can just buy a DVD of it for like $5 or less.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like you're like, oh, I can't get it anywhere. Well, with a VPN, you could get it, or also you could just order the physical media for the less than the cost of renting it on Amazon.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, mine's Young Frankenstein from 1974, and there's a sort of like there's more Altered Carbon coming. There's a Young Frankenstein TV show coming from the creators of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, that's got to be good.
So we'll have some more Young Frankenstein action in the future.
We'd like to thank you for joining the Nightshade Cult.
Until we meet again, we're wishing you unpleasant dreams.